Kind of funny. We can see our reflection in the thing. Dave, can you see that?
The phone's like right in front.
Yeah.
So it's like, yeah.
That's actually really funny.
All right.
All right.
Run it.
All right. Welcome to another episode of the Chips and Chops podcast. Today we are in the studio thanks to our sponsor, Stockroom East. Stockroom East is a creative community space that offers internet, conference rooms, events, a podcast video studio, phone meeting rooms, 24-hour access, and lastly, an amazing community. With us today, Lily Smith, a jack of all trades, star soccer player at Penn, a very creative, welcoming person, and both David and I's friend. Lily, would you say some stuff about yourself?
And the queen of St. Pat's soccer fields.
My name is Lily, and as I'm well known, I play soccer. I am a goalkeeper, and at the beginning of the season, I did play forward majority of the season, so I have played all over the field, I guess. I played 4 years at Penn. I've been on varsity all 4 years.
So you did
swung freshman year, but
I didn't think you played junior year. I don't know, for some reason I just got the vibe you didn't play your junior year.
Junior year was the one I made the PK save against Adams and the 2 against Marion. Remember?
I guess I wasn't.
So you're just like the best penalty shootout goalie in all of South Bend.
I gotta be 5 for 5 my high school career. So.
All right, so let's go back in the last week. So what has that been for you, right? So a little backstory. What was it? Thursday night, Penn girls soccer played St. Joe, and earlier in the season they lost 5-0, but it's sectionals now, and you guys beat them. So can you talk about that game a little bit?
Yeah. So on Tuesday we played our first round of sectionals, which was against Michigan City. We won 9-0. St. Joe played their first game 9-0, so we were both coming in on a win. And St. Joe right now was ranked 6th in the state. And
what are you guys ranked?
I think on Max Preps we're 83rd.
Yeah, well they have great,
and Adams I believe is what,
great talent on
140th.
Adams isn't on Max Preps.
Adams definitely has a better record than us though.
Yeah, they did. I checked.
But yeah, this week has been on Thursday. We played them, and coming in after a 5-0 loss 2 weeks before is rough, and no one really, looking out from the outside, really expected us to win it all. But we were able to really keep our own the whole game, keep it tied all through regular time and overtime. And so luckily we got into PKs and
luckily.
Yeah, Dave and I went to the game. I mean, the shots on goal that St. Joe had compared to Penn, it was 30-1, right? St. Joe should have won this game. It was some sort of literally miracle.
But we just played incredibly well. I think this was definitely our best game of the season. We all just were really hyped up the whole week and excited because it's a rival game. Playing your rival, if you lose, your season is over. Especially being a senior is just no one really wants it to end, especially when you've played for so long. And
how long have you been playing soccer?
I've played soccer, I think 13 or 12 years at this point.
How long have you been a goalie?
Well, I started out when I was in kindergarten. I played MSA.
Yep, we love MSA.
Yep. So, then I started playing travel soccer in 3rd grade, and I started off as a forward.
Oh.
So I've played that for a while, and I was a 3rd string forward, which is kind of funny because you're so young. You think, dang, you really can't be a 3rd string forward, but I was, and so the goalie was injured and they needed someone to play goalie, and so they asked me and I cried. I was like, no, I don't want to go and play I don't want to play goalie, but I ended up jumping in and absolutely loving it, and I got to playing time. So I was
you got playing time, and it opened the door to what you're doing now.
Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah, fast forward to now. PK shootout. So against St. Joe, what was going through your mind? Right, it's winner go home, and you're in the spotlight.
Yeah, going into shootouts, we've talked about before, I've been in 3 shootouts in my high school career, and I've won or made saves in every single one of them. So I felt very, very confident, and I just felt excited. It wasn't a very nervousness type feeling. It was just an excitement feeling because being in those situations, I've been successful every single time.
Yeah.
So I just had so much confidence just running through my body, and I just had so much confidence in my teammates on their penalty kicks and in my ability to be able to judge where they were going to go and just get there. So
what was going through your mind? That's what I'm curious about, because you made 3 saves against St. Joe?
Yeah, 3
and
saves.
Out of 6 shots, that's genuinely incredible, right? Like that's almost unheard of.
It's not like they were off the post or off they
they
skied it. I don't know if she's gonna listen, but if they sky it or miss it left or right, but they were all genuine diving saves. And
so
I don't know what the strategy is, because like it feels like some people just guess, some goalies just guess or
just stand there.
Yeah, or just stand there.
For me, I kind of I look at their hips, and so and like sometimes they're plant foot, so more than likely where you're going to shoot at your hips will either close off or open up. So if you're like right footed and you plant your foot and your hips sort of open up, you're more than likely going to go to the right side, or like I'm standing in goal my left, but if you're looking at the right, and if they're more closed off, then they're going to the other side. And so I'm mostly look at that. I also looked at their like chest, depending on like because of their hips, if their chest is closed off or opened up. And sometimes if I really don't know, or if it's a really good player, like when you play against Ella Frick and like Lauren Harrington, those really good players, they're good at those things, because good players are always good at penalty kicks and small things like that.
Well, yeah, so, Lauren hit hers on your.
Yep, Lauren and Ella both made theirs, and so on players like that, I also kind of look at their eyes, because sometimes they'll try to snake eye. So I go the opposite way I kind of go the way that they look, because if they look right, a lot of people think that, oh, the goalie's going to go left because I looked right. But I kind of do like the opposite of that. Or if,
so it's a lot of split second reaction.
Yeah, then even if I don't know at that point, I'll just dive wherever and hope for the best. So it's more of just a in the moment type situation, depending on the player, depending on what they're doing. And sometimes I'll just go where I think, even if it's wrong. You just gotta be confident in where you're going to, even if you miss it. Like I've missed, you can watch on WSBT and all these other places, I've missed PKs, obviously.
Yeah.
And so I've missed some in games, I've missed some in shootouts, and you just gotta be confident where you're going. You're not always gonna save it even if you guess right.
Well, it's a lot of that's great life analogy right there. You know?
I agree. Yep. So you just gotta be
you gotta always choose one way. You can't just stay in the middle. You have to choose left or right, and sometimes the right way can be left, if that makes sense. But
that's a good little play on words right there, David. And you should become a poet. What do you think?
More of a, what's the word?
Creative writer?
Yes, creative writer.
What were you gonna say?
I don't know. It's not psychologist. It's
psychiatrist.
No, not psychologist.
Philosopher. You are a philosopher.
Philosopher.
Yeah, and I agree with him. Just like you just got to be confident where you're going, and you're not always gonna succeed. Same thing, like not even soccer, just everything else. You're not always gonna succeed, but if you're confident with what you do, everything always works out.
Yeah.
So,
for sure. So beating St. Joe in PKs, you saved the 6th shot. What was going through what was going through your mind when you guys won?
Going through my mind, I was just like, oh my gosh, we did it. I was like, oh my gosh, we did it. Like, we're one step closer.
You definitely just thought you won the sectional championship, didn't you? Because, I mean...
It was like a sectional championship victory type feeling. Like,
I was like
we won.
I mean, for example, the refs had the mics, the headphones for themselves to talk to each other during the game for that game and not the finals. Because they obviously didn't think the finals was going to be a good game.
I literally, started to rush onto the field. But David didn't join me, so...
I was going to originally because anytime St. Joe loses makes me happy. So
yeah, the St. Joe boys lost last night, and I just was so happy, even though Adams lost. But
it's just
it's a ravenous day for everyone.
Yes,
it was a very eventful day and weekend.
Yeah, and then going to the Adams game, you guys probably should have won 3-4-0.
So yeah, we played them on senior night and won 3-0. But going into that game, we knew that. St. Joe beat us 5-0 2 weeks before. So, going into that, we're like, we can't have our hopes up. We can't, come in saying, oh, we're going to win. We already beat them before. Because you saw how the game turned out. We went in the penalty kicks. They played an incredible game. And
shout out 14.
They did incredible. And, they kept us on our feet. And, you just never know. Once postseason hits, anything can happen. It's anyone's game. So, going into that game.
Well, because if you think about it, back to the Philosopher Dave part, when life and death comes into part, your season's going to be done. Your high school career is going to be done. It's a lot like you need to scavenge for everything you can get to make it through your life. So if it's 3 people all trying to stay alive, you gotta find the dog in you and
you gotta
start
bark
barking,
and start biting.
Find your bark.
And that's what our whole team just was so like. I mean, after like having such a rough season with like such a bad record and so many injuries of star players and amazing players on our team, like just having like love and like just digging deep in those moments is what got us through it, and having confidence in every single one of us is
I
what
mean,
got us there.
won. When's the next game gonna be?
The next game or team?
Next game
on Thursday.
Oh, so this is gonna come out probably Wednesday or Thursday, so that actually works out perfectly. So you've been playing soccer for 13 years. What would you say has been some of your favorite moments in those 13 years?
Probably one of my favorites, I would have to say, is definitely the Marion game from, I'd have to say my sophomore year, just because I was so young and being the only goalie like on varsity at Penn High School, which Penn is known for being a really good soccer school.
Yeah.
And
all around school.
Yeah, especially for athletics, and the soccer program has always been up there, and we've had so many people who have graduated from Penn playing Penn soccer who have gone to play at Notre Dame.
Yeah, are you hoping to get into college to play soccer or no?
As of now, I'm probably not going to play soccer.
Because you definitely have the skill to.
Yeah.
I mean, you blocked a D1 goalie from a PK. I know that's not.
That's like a.
I mean.
Yeah, but I mean, as of now, I'm kind of just looking to go for academics because I want to do architecture. So
Architecture.
Architect. Yep.
I knew that.
Because
I know you have that art in you.
I do. I have the art.
To get into, she has an art business.
Okay, do you have an art business?
I do have an art business. Okay. It's been a while since I've done it, but once soccer season ends, because like I said, my soccer career is going to end whenever we play our last game. So, whenever we play our last game.
Yeah, probably by the end of October.
Hopefully we make it all the way to state.
So
but
when would state be?
State, it's normally on like Halloween, but I don't know if it is on Halloween or if it's the day before. It's normally in October. Yeah. But I mean, winning sectionals is the biggest victory I think we could have, because we now have the state record for most consecutive sectional wins.
I had no idea you guys were at 15, 16 or whatever.
Now.
And St. Joe was at 14. So it was really like we were going to...
Bragging rights.
They were going to be tied with us, or we were going to win it. So, you know, even more was at stake for that game, and especially the Adams game too, because if we lost that, then we were going to...
Adams would have started their streak.
Of one.
They would have started their streak.
And definitely wouldn't have
Ours
gotten
would have gone
to
to 0. So,
That's actually so funny.
They would have had the longest one in NIC.
Yeah? They would have?
Probably, because no one else probably has one.
Marion.
Oh.
Yeah, Marion's insane.
So, if Marion... I'm pretty sure if Marion goes to state this year, they move up to our division, 3A, because St. Joe moved down.
Well, yeah, they have to play Clay. But, so getting back into your art thing, what started your... Or do you want to talk first about,
what is it?
Yeah, so
what is your art business?
My art business, I mostly just paint shoes and paint on shoes and draw on shoes, stuff like that, and sell them on Etsy, Instagram. I post them on Instagram because that's where I kind of promote it.
That's where I remember it really being big.
And so I started it in middle school, actually.
What grade?
Dave and I went to middle school together.
You really started it in middle school?
Yep. In 8th grade, I started it.
I remember you did it designed them for yourself. I didn't remember you were selling them in 8th grade.
I designed my first pair, I remember, it's like a pair of slip-on Vans. And I used Sharpie to make them like sprinkles.
Oh, I definitely do remember that you were doing it in 8th grade.
And then I did it for Brady last year, remember?
Oh, dude, I do remember that.
I wonder if she still has those.
Yeah, I wonder if she does.
Yeah, and
we'll have to ask her.
I did some like palm trees on like some Converse, and then more people started asking me. And then I was like, oh, like this is kind of fun getting some extra money.
Yeah.
Why not?
What made you want to start it? Or was it just kind of like an impromptu thing? Like you did it for yourself? And
I mean, like art's always been a huge part of my life. I've done art ever since I was really little. And my great aunt, who is probably one of my closest family members I've gotten to know. I'm not really close with a lot of my other family members, but our extended family members. But my great aunt, she was an art teacher. So when I was little, I would always go to her art classes. Yeah. And I would always just go in her room and do art stuff. And when we go over to her house, we tie-dye and just do a bunch of art and drawing. And so I've always loved it. And my dad has always loved art too. So ever since a young age, I've just been into it and loved it. And I thought, and I love shoes. I've started to love shoes as middle school came around and really be into like shoe culture and have great knowledge on all of shoes. So I was like, hey, why not mix both of them? And just for myself, like just a personal pair. Then as more people started asking for them,
you can monetize it. Yeah.
Yep. As more people started asking for them, I was just like, hey, get some extra money. I'm young. I can't get a job yet. I can't drive. So yeah.
Well, yeah, that's something we learned is like through this class we're in, that really you just got to find your passion and you can always monetize whatever you want to monetize.
Yep.
You find a passion and you can make money from everything. Given like social media being a thing with all like the new innovations and stuff, you can really monetize anything you want.
Exactly. And so
you did it from a young age.
Yep. I just took advantage of it, and going from a small Catholic school to a big public school has really helped me to, like branch out and truly like get more contacts, like close up.
So you definitely could, if you started that back up, you could definitely take it off like even farther than you were at.
I probably could, because I started shipping, I think it's on my Instagram, I shipped to I think it's 13 states.
Yeah, I remember you did ship.
Yep.
You shipped out of the country?
Mm-hmm, I did one pair to Canada.
That's so cool.
I did not know any of this. That's insane. I remember back, my middle school days too, there was JT Customs. Do you remember him?
I do remember him. He went to Adams, right?
Yeah, he went to Adams. I never personally talked to him. He was like really, really big into shoe customization. I think he customized one of my pairs of shoes. So
he was really cool. Because I remember when I started my business, someone told me about him. They were like, oh, there's this other kid, years older than me. Yeah, and he painted shoes. And so I remember looking into like his stuff, and it was incredible. I loved it. And so I thought like, hey, I can put my little spin on it, because I mostly specialize in doing freehand.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I do a lot of like sunsets and a lot of other things that are more like
you did that. I remember you did a Van Gogh one.
Yep, I did a Van Gogh. So that was all freehanded. Like I love art, and so like Van Gogh pieces. I've done Keith Haring stuff. I just love artists, and I love like their art, so I like to try to replicate it on.
You could do that urinal. There's a urinal picture out in the main area.
It's a whole thing.
Toilets.
Oh wait, there's a bunch.
I didn't even notice
you
this.
You can get one of the toilets up there.
All right, here at our amazing sponsor, Stockroom East, check them out. They are the best place in all of the country.
It is very nice. Like the facilities here are incredible. Like I actually really like it.
And they're doing an art exhibit right now, which theme is toiletry. It's really special. It's really it's genuinely incredible. It's just like
we have to put the pictures in. Like it's actually really cool. Like it's there's cool. So many colors, and like
that's where we'll take our picture for the Instagram.
Yes.
So.
It's just so
follow our Instagram
so
to see these pictures of the toilets.
Wait, we actually should do that.
Yeah,
we genuinely should.
I actually really like it.
That'd be so funny.
I'm not gonna lie.
And then you did your art business until last summer, right?
I did it.
What made that die down for a little bit?
During COVID, it blossomed. Like, obviously, like.
Well, because you had all the time in the world, and
I was thinking, like, if we were 2 years older, David, this would have been like the best thing ever for COVID.
Yeah.
Oh, it would have been awesome.
Because you could post it whenever, and people would be like, I have nothing to do.
But people are like, podcasts are still going to be really big, just because like a lot of workplaces allow people to listen to music while they work.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? Like,
podcasts took off from COVID, so.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because like 10 years ago, there weren't that many out, probably. Right? I mean, like 2005, I don't know if anyone even knew what a podcast was. But now there's probably like millions of millions out there.
Just with technology and everything, truly, like, branching out and all that.
It just goes to show, like, you don't need to go into a business that's already big. You could have started in a business and it might take off later. Yeah. You know? Like, for instance, shoe selling, I couldn't name you one. I mean, I can name you shoe selling. I can't name any customization people.
Anymore.
I don't know any.
Yeah, that's something very like.
That's a business that's just not into.
Especially where we live, like.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You would have to really like. For
I feel like
high school crowd, you'd have to really branch out.
No, but it could really be big because shoe selling is huge. Mm-hmm. Like reselling, where people like buy shoes, resell them, but no one really customizes them.
Yeah, there's not a lot of like art related things, and there's so many like art fairs and stuff, but nothing like that. Like,
yeah, especially in the teen community.
Agreed. I agree. Because now that I think about it, like the only guy that JT Customs, he's the only other one I can think of in the local area who really does stuff like that.
There has to be.
But like customizing cleats for athletes would be so cool, or customizing basketball shoes for basketball players. Like I feel like all of them would would jump on that.
Did you see the guy from Ohio State who wore those like Louis Vuitton cleats?
Yeah,
and they went viral. Like they went mega viral.
Like NFL players do it all the time, but
yeah, if you make like a video out of it too, post on social media, I mean that's just gonna grow.
Yeah,
yeah. So you stopped it last summer.
Was that just because of time?
Was it just?
Yeah, I mostly got like once COVID kind of died down. I mean that was my like COVID was like sophomore junior year.
Yeah.
So was my last shoe last summer? Oh my gosh.
That was your last Instagram post on your custom art Lily Smith page.
Oh my gosh. So yeah.
I had to do my research before this. David got here late.
So, I knew her before this, so I needed to do research.
So yeah.
I mean, no, me and Lily have known each other since summer, but David and Lily have known each other for what, 13 years now?
Oh my, since kindergarten.
13 years.
Used to wipe each other's butts.
I don't know about that, but
not that young, I guess.
Yeah, and now she's customizing his shoes. So.
No, David and I were water balloon champions.
Yeah.
We once.
Yeah. Do you want to ask us?
We were 2v2
yeah. Do you want to ask us like what went through our minds when like our balloon never popped when we threw it back and forth across the entire playground?
Yeah.
Or
did you guys?
I need like a post water balloon fight.
Okay. Okay, I'm here with. Okay, well, actually, yeah. So how were you guys like pretty close back then?
Oh,
just, like,
yeah.
We've been so close since the beginning.
Lily was one of the boys.
I'm sloppy seconds. Is that what I'm hearing?
I guess.
Honestly, now that I'm back in the picture, yeah.
What are some really funny David stories? I'm curious about that. Or if you have any. Like, what are your guys' stories?
I'm trying to think.
Because I only knew him from band.
Well, we could get into some of the Kings Club stories.
Yeah, so David and I, we went to after school together. Since we went to Catholic school, we didn't have buses or anything to take us home. And so our parents were hardworking people who
just wanted to provide for their
late
family.
After school. Yep, they worked late after school. And we had this aftercare thing where we would just go in the gym and there was this little room, but no one ever went in the little room because we were athletes, so we were out there grinding.
Yes.
And, we would just
had to get ready for ICCO.
Yep, play basketball, play soccer, dodgeball. We would do so much stuff, and that's like I would say that's probably where our friendship really started.
Yes, because when you're a 6th, 7th, 8th grader playing dodgeball with some kindergarten and first graders, and you're going to see how many kids you can make cry, lots of friendships can come out of that.
Lots of friendships could also be broken, Dave. You have that's like malicious intent there. How many kindergartners' days can you ruin, David? What's your answer? What's your record?
That's what Sky Zone does.
I don't.
That is Sky Zone's marketing.
It's like what, $28 for an hour. You will leave. You're gonna be unhappy, but get the membership. It's only $1 a day. Okay.
Wait, that really is 28. Yeah, that would be $1, basically $1.
Yeah. Yeah, any other funny stories besides how David would make kids cry? That's kind of awful.
He would, and we would also play basketball together all the time, and so we would 1v1 each other, but we knew we were too good to do that, so we would always 2v2 everyone and crush them. Yeah. I was always the assist queen, so I never really scored, and when I played basketball in middle school, I was not a scorer, but I would assist everyone. So I just remember
she would get the triple-double without the points.
That's an important thing in life, is sometimes you have to throw that alley-oop up. It's a metaphorical thing, back to philosopher, but it's a metaphorical thing that you got to throw the alley-oop sometimes because you're not always going to score that point, but deep down, someone is going to score that point. So you got to, for example, this podcast, connecting people, is the alley-oop we are throwing up to the community.
And they slam that dunk down.
We are throwing it up to whoever wants to throw down that dunk. You don't have to be able to dunk on a 10-foot rim. You can dunk on
especially not us when we're in middle school and we're 5 feet tall.
Yes, unless you're like Bill Eminene. Remember,
Bill.
He broke the entire hoop off the wall.
I do remember that.
Because he spider crawled up the wall and then brought down the entire hoop with him.
Oh my gosh, I remember that.
That's actually crazy.
There was also,
I've noticed,
I think Kings Club really sparked my love for arguing because
you are I've been noticing, Dave, you are the biggest instigator I know.
Kings Club sparked that.
It's hard for me to defend you sometimes.
Kings Club sparked that for me because I would be so bored. So during after school, you had to go, if you were in 4th grade or up or something, you had to go do homework in the library with this one person named Miss B.
Lovely woman.
I completely forgot her.
She definitely was something. And so, what's it called?
Does her name
so we had to.
L?
What?
Her first name is it?
No.
Okay.
I don't know what her first name was.
I literally do not remember.
But we'd have to go to the library. So it'd be like me, Lily, and a bunch of other like Kings Club older kids. And we'd be stuck there with no homework to do. But you have to go there for at least like 15 minutes.
And they wouldn't let you go on your phone either.
So yeah. So we would just do all this stuff knowing we can't do it just so that we could argue. And that's when I really developed my love for arguing, whether it's good stuff or not. You know, put up a fight.
Lily, I don't know if you know this, but David and I are actually running for student body at John.
I know, I saw.
David's been
always cheering
maybe by
for
the
you
time
guys.
this comes out.
This reminds me of when I was student council president in middle school. David,
I didn't know we had student council president in middle
I
school.
didn't know we had it at Adam. I didn't know we had it in high school until this year.
I don't know if we have it at Penn or not. Now that I'm thinking about it.
People don't. It's like, I don't know. It's really funny, but I'll say this: David's been making some enemies. Right?
Oh, I bet.
Yeah, like
I bet.
I say vote
I mean, that's
Dave.
a competitive position you're running for, and you
But
really got to compete.
You
Like
want people to like you.
everything you do, you need to have passion for. If you're not having passion for it, there's no point in doing it.
If you're making enemies, they won't vote for you.
Just like when I tried to run for homecoming, like a lot of my friends didn't vote for me, but I was like,
Really?
yeah. Like I found out a lot of people didn't vote for me, but
They're
it
no
was just one
longer
of those
your
things.
friends.
You really just got to put people out there. You got to put yourself out there.
Yeah,
and
you putting yourself
when you
out
care
there,
about
I
something, then like you'll do whatever it takes to get there. And
Yeah.
you should never do anything malicious.
I mean, you
but-
still had fun with it, right?
Yeah.
You're on the court.
Oh,
it
it was.
fun?
I had so much fun.
Yeah.
I mean,
I kind of wish I did. I want to go for
Just
like,
putting yourself
if there's a
out.
basketball homecoming.
Yeah, just
I
like
wanna do
putting
it.
yourself out there always.
You get some good pictures.
It might sometimes like
I did get.
for
some good
example, there
pictures.
was a downside of you putting yourself out there is you put yourself out there and you
lost.
didn't
And
you
get
lost,
criticism.
yeah. But you put yourself out there and you still had a fun time. You just didn't get the end goal.
Yeah.
I
But
mean,
like,
being on homecoming court, especially with me being like, I would say honestly, like openly gay is pretty like.
yeah.
That is pretty like, different. Not a lot of people are like that, and I mean, yeah, just being on the court was awesome.
Yeah.
Like, I don't even care if I didn't win. I get to say for the rest of my life that I was on homecoming court at like a big high school.
Yeah,
So
5,000 kids. That's
It's-
pretty.
yeah.
Is it where like students would vote you onto the court, or did you have to submit your name?
So like at the beginning you campaigned to like get on court, but once you got on court, you were not allowed to campaign, and you kind of just let people vote for you, or you let your friends campaign. I mean, I never told anyone to campaign for me, so
Yeah.
but you saw like the thing with Kenny, my I would honestly say one of my good friends, Kenny, he won King for Penn, and all of his friends made T-shirts with his face on it saying "God save the King," and
actually
he
so
won
cool.
it. And so it is like I loved it. It was so funny. It was genius because I didn't really know who Ken was. I didn't even know who he was before this, but now I know him because of how much like campaigning and how
Yeah.
much something that was a funny, innocent joke turned
Yeah.
into something so big.
I think that's what Joey's kind of going for because he's kind of campaigning with every president running.
Yeah.
Every president
I
that's
saw you
running, not just
reposting
me,
them, Joey,
not just
those.
me.
Yep.
He looks at every president's like, hey, better together.
Yep. We might
And
work
we'll
together.
bring up like two, like not my name.
Yeah.
But whatever.
I will say this. Yes, I did vote for David. Was he the best candidate? No. But
Was I the best candidate? Yes.
No, there's no way you can. I'm sorry.
Who do you think was a better candidate?
Julia was the best candidate. She has the best ideas. I'll say this, right?
What do you do like in that position? Like
It's-
what would you do? Like
What would
as a
I
vice
do?
president and a president? Like you're like what's your job?
I don't know. We just kind of wanted, it was just like another project to tag along
Yes.
with everything because the Chips and Chops podcast is our main project, but every project we do can boost it. So
agree.
Yeah.
once you start that main project, you have to find the semi products to then, or projects to then boost up your main project. For example, your shoe selling business would be your main focus in everything you do. But in everything you do, you have
promote it.
soccer, you have
Yep.
whatever else. And so like you playing soccer, you connect with the other team. Hey, I'm Lily. Like if you ever want custom shoes, I'm here.
And that has actually
And-
happened before
yeah.
where I have played with teams from like Kentucky, and they have like I've worn a custom pair of shoes, do soccer games and stuff, and people ask me and they all follow me.
Yeah.
So I have followers from all over the place,
Networking
just
is-
random people I've met.
Networking is like the most.
Yeah, because you
Like,
could
we
have
would-
you could have just walked by all of them looking
Yeah.
on your phone, but instead you were open to talk to
Mm-hmm.
people and
Just
Yeah.
I feel like in our day and age, knowing people and like you said, networking is what makes people successful, because I've always said a lot of the jobs that I have now that are very successful jobs are from knowing people, and that's why you really got to put yourself out there, because you may meet someone and you may be very successful because you met that one person, but if you like are scared or hold yourself back.
And you just walk right by them.
And keep your head down.
You're just going to be mediocre.
You know, you may never get what you want in life and may never get what you could have had. So, like, and I do believe that, like, that knowing people and putting yourself out there, you know, you may get rejected. You always will. Like, I've been rejected and from a lot of things in life. But it's your ability to come back and try again is what you will get there eventually if you really have the heart and want to do something.
I 100% agree with that. Touching on how you were saying how important it is to how you've been so successful with soccer, art, just being you, everything, right? Being awesome. Who are some of your favorite people that you've met through, say, soccer, through art?
That it maybe like motivated you to keep doing what you're doing. Like
that you wouldn't have met otherwise.
I would definitely have to say, oh my gosh. Well, my girlfriend now, Megan, she is awesome. Like, I would have never been able to meet her if I didn't put myself out there.
Where'd you meet her?
So I've known her for a long time. I mean, I love golf, and that's how I met Joey. And that's how Dave and I met again after so many years of being apart. We would always talk on social media, but I got a golf membership at Studebaker because it was cheap, and my friend went there and said it was good, and so I was like, okay, like, I work at Knollwood, but I was like, I can go down to Studebaker, I can walk it, I don't have to make a tee time, I can just go whenever I want. And I saw David there, and I was like, oh my gosh.
Well, for example, you weren't even playing golf 2 years ago, right?
No, I was not.
You just started
I just started playing golf because I got a job on a golf course, and I got the job on the golf course because of a pair of shoes that I wore, and I went to a job fair at Knollwood because we've been members there forever. And this guy, I went in and he did maintenance. He was the superintendent for golf at Knollwood, and he was like, I really like your Jordans. Like, those are some cool shoes. And then we started talking about shoes, started talking about the job, and I got the job.
Yeah, so really you could have just spent your night at home.
I could have, but I put myself out there, and I didn't want to go at all. I didn't want to go, but I was like, my mom was like, you should go. Like, it'll be a good opportunity. And I was like, oh, okay, fine. Like, I got dressed, went out there, and that has truly, like, I would say that job is what really changed. It really changed everything because I started playing golf because I worked on the golf course, and I've never even thought about playing golf ever. And so
you're not much of like a cocktail crowd type of person.
What does that even mean?
Yeah, what does that mean?
Like,
what do you mean by that?
The people that walk on the golf course, you know, they go home, they sip their cocktails, you know, or the people that, you know, it's just those type of people, you know.
Like privilege, you'd say?
No, just like.
I think this is a bad take.
Yeah, this might be.
I'm trying.
I just feel like, I don't know, the stereotypical golfer.
Are you saying what?
You're saying because it doesn't have the action, the play-by-play, high adrenaline, all that. It's more of a.
Don't think someone,
it's like a relaxed, nonchalant sport.
Well, like kind of like to be successful, you got to be like rich and kind of like that type of.
It just feels like the
vibe is different from a soccer PK lock-in moment where there's
team sport compared to an individual sport, which I would say like doing like playing golf. Like, I've always been an athlete. I've played so many sports, tried so many things, but golf has to be the hardest thing I have ever done in my life. There's just so many things that people are like, golf's boring. Golf isn't that hard. No, it is hard.
The amount of life lessons there are in golf. The amount of life lessons there is in everything. Like, if you really deep down, every time you leave an event, think about like, what did I learn? You can just actually reconvene. Like, that should be something school has, and it is better ways to reflect on what you really are learning. Because if you really think about that and apply everything you learn from that event or from that job you just did or whatever it is, you really can learn a lot more than you can from like reading a book, for example. Like, I mean, all for people that read books at home, but like, I feel like just going outside is so important.
It's good to have a mix of everything. I'd say, like, I do, like, I mean,
gotta diversify your portfolio.
Agreed. And when people ask me, you know, what I do, I'm like, oh, I play soccer, I like art, I love music. I love
what don't you do?
People. That's what I'm saying. I do so many things.
Like, that's such a bad question
I
sometimes.
Fish,
or like, who are you?
Bowl, like, what? Like, that is like, like, I do so many things. And so, like, to your point, like, you know, you just got to dip your foot in every single thing, and you'll find something that you love. Like, golf was just one of those random things that I was just like, oh, I'm just doing it, you know, to have a job. Like, the job sounds nice. It turned into me doing it as a hobby, meeting you again. Yeah. Meeting Joey, meeting, like, you know, like, just meeting so many people and playing a sport that I can play for the rest of my life. Yeah. When soccer ends, and, you know, I love it, and it's truly one of probably my one of my favorite, I mean, after soccer, my favorite hobbies to do.
Well, because if you think about it, like having all those activities and stuff, it might bring a lot of stress, but like deep down your body becomes used to the stress and you find ways to cope with the stress, and all the fun moments that come out of it just make it so much better. I mean, if you're not having fun with it, you obviously just need to drop it, but
it builds
having
so
all those
many,
things, having all those different things that you can have fun with, connecting with all those new people, it just makes, it's the point of life.
And it builds connections with people, like me saying like, oh, I like to fish, and then I meet someone who likes to fish. Then, you know, we start talking about that. I meet someone who likes to play golf. We talk about golf and, you know, all these things. And it's just like, you know, like just doing all these little things can help you meet some people. Just like I said, I met my boss and he noticed my shoes, and I know so much about shoes. So we started talking about shoes, and, you know, it's just all like these little things, but you really just got to do what you're passionate about. And you can't really care about what people think, because people are going to disagree with you for your passions.
Those are the people that have two things in their portfolio. They just like do their sport maybe and go to school or something. I don't know.
Yeah, go to parties or something. Yeah, definitely like the people who hate on you being creative are the people who have not been able to touch into their creative side, which is sad because it means something happened that they don't want to touch on.
Because I definitely know that people probably say, oh, like this podcast idea, you know, is like, people have said that about my shoes. Like people have come up to me all the time and they're like, oh, like your shoe business is never gonna work. Like this is never, and look what it turned into.
They say it's stupid, right?
Like, they're like, oh, it's stupid. Like, you know, like this is embarrassing. Like you look, I mean, because it's like something like this, you're like, oh, like this is embarrassing. Different. No, it's just different. And like when you are passionate about something, it works out. People are going to enjoy it just because a lot of people around you are vocally, or
if it's like 90%,
then it just,
and if you like,
it doesn't matter.
If you
like it, it doesn't matter.
And if you can like explain to people why you're so passionate about, then like you're going to gain so many supporters and so many fans and so much networking, right?
Mm-hmm. Like a lot of people don't know I love writing, and like I like writing poetry and stuff like that, which is something I do on like outside. I don't like publicly say that at all. I just love talking and writing, and you know, like I feel like I'm good with words, and I've been through a lot of hardships, so like being able to write about that and like help other people who have been through those things, it's, you know, like I love doing it. And a lot of people are like, oh, like this is cringy, like this is like oh, like this, you know, stuff like that. But it's like,
but it's so cool though. Like
that's definitely something.
That's definitely something I want to do more of. Is like
more creative stuff like that.
Yeah.
So what it sounds like to me, Lily, is like you could have like 1,000 different lives and do 1,000 like if you had a like I think that's so cool.
So what made you choose the architecture though? Because
architecture.
Why do you want to major with architecture?
I've always loved building things. I mean, like I'm a huge Lego like nerd.
Yeah.
Like I love Legos.
No, I definitely remember that.
Yep, I've loved Legos ever since I've been little, and so I
remember being like 5th and 6th grade, and we used to do Legos.
We used to do Legos all the time, and so I still do love Legos, and I love building, and a lot of that is kind of, and I love like building things like in my majority of my room is everything I've built, like either if it's from IKEA or like from Target, but it's things that I've like built, and I've loved doing that. And so I was like, I definitely want to do something in this. And then engineering, that's engineering. And so I was like, oh, like engineering, like that's what I want to do. But I hate math. I am awful at math. I've never been good at math. And so I was like, what's something I could do that I could be creative in, but not have to, you know, be very academically smart, I'd say.
Yeah.
Like I have good grades. But it's not like I'm not so successful. I am, but you know what I mean? Like it's just not something I'm passionate about. Like
that's the sad thing is like
stuff like that.
Yeah. Like you can obviously be successful in whatever you do, but you might get a C on a test, and it's just like, I don't know.
Especially I'm getting senioritis so bad right now. So my grades are just, they're good, but they're
like
not.
I like doing the stuff outside of school more than the stuff inside of school, and it's just like bad because like
you want to be able to like live.
I want to lock into school, but I just have no desire.
It's just hard when you're not like passionate about it. And so
I've lost my passion for it.
But like I feel
it's like it's just not something I can just drop. You know, like we said, like if you just like aren't passionate, you gotta drop it. But like you can't drop.
And sometimes you have to do sometimes you have to do things you don't want to do to be able to do the things that you do want to do. And I know like I hate math and I hate science. Well, it's just, you know, it's not things I'm passionate about. I don't really necessarily hate them. I'm just not passionate. So it's hard to be good at something you're not very passionate about. But architecture, I'm like, I love drawing. I love making things. I love like, you know, doing stuff like that. And so I was like, oh, this will click. There's a class at Penn. I'll try it out. If I don't like it, then I'll figure out what I want to do.
Yeah.
So I took the class. I love it. This is my second year in it, and I was like, this is what I want to do.
That's so cool.
So it's like it's a mix of every single thing I've done in my life, like a mix of like my art, a mix of just creativity and connections, like meeting people, like architecture. I'm gonna have to meet people and work with people to build what they want.
Yeah.
And just being a people person, just everything that I'm so passionate about fits into that. And so that's my passion. That's like, you know, what I want to do.
No, that's actually really cool. Talking back on the school thing, how David, you said it's hard for you to lock in. Would you say that's because you've been doing school, even in like?
Well, I've had so much more, like having so many more things that are like fun for me. For example, Moxie, like the morning thing I'm in before school, seeing how that kind of classroom is different than a school classroom.
It's also something that like
it opens.
About,
yeah,
like
I care about
compared to film.
Yeah.
Film
yeah, well,
studies.
yes, film. Yeah,
I know you love that.
That's what I have to write the paper about, and it's like I don't like doing all this assignment point or these assignments for points because that's just not anything in life. Everything is just going to be like you just do everything.
You have to self-grade
that you have to do.
Wrong, you have to if it's wrong, you fix it.
Yeah,
you know, it's not like
it's not if you're wrong.
If you're wrong, then you are. You know, it's like if you do bad on a test. Oh, you got an F on this test, then you have an F in the grade book.
Yep. Good luck on the next one.
Yeah,
it's not like.
But
you,
in life,
what's their goal?
You have to change. Like especially with the job that you do. Like if you do something bad, you have to change it. You're not gonna. You know, they're not gonna just be like, oh, well, like this is bad. We have to keep it like this. No, they're gonna teach you how to do it better the next time. And I feel like in school that kind of gets lost some of the times where teachers are
it's just like
if you get an F on the test, oh, we're moving on to the next section, and then you're gonna have to take a final at the end of the year.
Yeah.
You're like, what? Like
it's like the whole life. It's like the whole like religious thing that it's like, God gives you a test, and then gives you the lesson after that. But in school, it's like you get the lesson and then you get the test. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Like you learn the lesson after the fact of what happened. And you can grow from that instead of you grow and then take a test and you have no idea if you grew enough.
It's working through adversity.
Yeah.
Like life is just working through adversity and bringing back to soccer. That's our soccer team. We've had a very crazy year and, you know, we had the test. The season, like your soccer season or your golf season, all that stuff is the test.
Yeah.
And postseason is you take what your learning, test was and you learn final. From it. And it's your final. And so, you know, like, and that's what life is, just doing that, you know. And like you said, school sometimes just gets away from that. And it's hard. It's really hard when you aren't passionate about something and you feel like, you know, you can't get there. But
you got to push through.
You got to push through. And good things always come, like we said before, good things always come when you work hard. Not everything's going to be easy, but.
Because, I mean, you don't have to have a plan. As long as you work hard on whatever you're doing, the plan unfolds for itself.
I agree.
Yeah, I agree. Touching back to soccer, what would you say is like the biggest lesson that you've learned?
Definitely the biggest lesson I've learned is to just not give up on yourself and to not lose confidence in yourself no matter where things go, because I've been a goalie my whole life and our majority of my soccer career, and that's what I've been good at. That's what I've worked so hard to do, and being converted to like a field player at the beginning of the season was never anything I would have expected. And
yeah, it gave you a new test.
It was hard. It was a very big test that I was like, you know what, like I'm not getting, you know, like it's not coming to me like it was being a goalie. Like it just doesn't, you know, like it's like I'm so good at being a goalie, but this is something that's brand new to me that I'm still like trying to learn and trying to get good at. And so definitely just fighting through adversity and just staying like confidence in yourself, because at those times you can lose confidence, like, oh, I'm not good enough, like, oh, like this is hard, like why can't I do it right? But as time goes on, I always think that good things always happen, like with your patience, and
when you least
good things come to those who wait. And so, like I was patient this season and tried my hardest and worked hard. And even though like I felt like, oh, like I'm not good enough, like this isn't good. I mean, look at me now. Like now I'm back as being a goalie and have been able to make a huge impact for my team, and have people who have my back no matter what. Like my teammates have had my back throughout this whole season.
Yeah.
Even when I've felt defeated or lost, like they've had my back. And, you know, just learning that if you stay confident in yourself and the people around you, that, you know, that's all that matters when things get hard.
100%. Yeah, David, do you have anything else?
No, I love what we touched on today.
Yes. No, that was awesome. Yeah.
I don't know. I feel like we need to do more night recordings because I feel like my mind is so.
I feel so calm.
Open.
I feel so better when I'm like calm, and
I like it when it's dark outside.
It's just such more of a vibe, and I just feel like I can talk
especially
easier.
after like such a long weekend, you know, and
I can just really just everything just
like a
everything just rolls off the head, and it's just like decompress. It's like
a good conversation.
Nice, and then right as you get home, you eat dinner and go to bed, and you know.
Yes.
Because you get the whole
your
day
paper.
Do your paper. Yeah, I gotta do some homework. Well, actually, I'll probably just go to bed.
That's the thing is like I have had this assignment for 2 weeks and I haven't touched it once, and it's just because
I have running for Prez.
I have like it's just like when you have all these, you have like something due in 2 weeks, but you have all these things due in 1 day, 2 days, 3 days. You do those first, and it's like
because once you get behind, it's.
Yeah,
you just
so
can't
like
catch up, especially I'm
just,
finding that in the application process for college, where my first application, my dream school is University of Georgia. My mom went there. I'd love to carry on the legacy.
I'm so glad you're going there.
And so I really want to. So like I'm applying.
Yeah,
you've had that love since like.
Yep, I've always wanted to go there, and so I'm applying. And the first one it's due the 15th, which is like early because all the rest are. No, the 15th of October.
That's in 5 days.
I know. I have to finish it up this week, and I'm so stressed out about it.
Yeah.
I think I was checking mine. None are due till like January 1st or something. Is that wrong?
So early deadline is due November 1st typically.
Is early?
No. Some of them are like November 15th or something.
Some of them are November.
That's
what
the ones I have to do.
The majority of them are the first. Like that's what I found. Like that's pretty much like the early deadline. Some are after. Some are before, which. Georgia's before, so I got to get that done, and that's my top school. But
that'd be so cool if you went there.
I'm looking to try to do rowing wherever I go. I'm gonna email and because like
that would literally be your sport because you're so strong.
I love working out, and I have the endurance from soccer, and like I feel like I could really be successful at it and be good at it. So
well, you're just so
reach out to schools and see. If not, then it's okay, and I'll focus on school and probably play club soccer or something club, but. I'm really trying to do rowing, spike ball. Sounds fun.
There's just so many.
Tennis.
I'm so excited.
Like tennis.
Yeah, I love.
I don't know why I've been really wanting to get into tennis recently.
Why don't you do it? It's a spring sport for girls. You literally should do it.
You don't have a spring sport.
Exactly.
I mean, besides MSA.
I'm kind of thinking about doing it, Joey, honest. We were talking to our Penn girls soccer team, and a lot of people aren't playing travel soccer. So
yes, get the make a make a Penn team.
There's gonna be it's gonna be
because
so
Adams
stacked.
we kind of have like 40 people on our roster right now.
We've
so
had
like, you guys need to make your own
commit.
You can make like
you guys play at like Knollwood? Like, is that where you play, or do you play at MSA Fields?
MSA Fields.
I think it's at them.
But like you practice there's multiple locations. But honestly, I don't even know if I'd want to play. I think I want to become a coach.
Okay.
All right.
I'm looking at becoming a coach eventually.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, well that's a wrap. Thank you guys. If you're still here for listening, check us out on all social medias, Chips and Chops Podcast, and then check out Lily Smith
custom.art.smith on Instagram, or just Zilly Smith for my personal Instagram.
If you want some custom shoes, get some heat. All right, peace.